Hey guys, it's a late Thursday night. Kids have gone to bed. Um, it's April 30th, so it's about 2.5 weeks post surgery. So I just wanted to give you kind of a recap of what's happened since surgery. So I have been healing fairly well. I I have a small like opening or gap on the side where I had breast cancer that I just need to keep an eye on. And that side is doing fairly good. I do have a lot of swelling still on my right side under my lymph nodes. I do not feel anything. It's numb. It was quite sore at first. My left side, which didn't have any cancer, but they did a reconstruction or reduction rather. I didn't feel anything. I mean, it was sore where the incisions were, but other than that, it was pretty good. So for the surgery part, I'm doing pretty good. I'm healing well. The plastic surgeon was pleased with everything. So that was all really good. Right about the time where I saw my plastic surgeon, my GP called me and gave me the news about what they found in the pathology report. So the pathology report showed that this is an invasive cancer. It also showed that I had positive margins, which is what we didn't want. Positive margins mean basically you have your tumor. The outside of the tumor, you want to have, a certain amount of space, if you will, that doesn't have cancer cells scattered around. I think they try to go for about 3 millimeters. Mine was 1 millimeter. And so basically that gives me positive margins. So it means that they didn't quite get all the cancer out. The other thing my doctor told me is that the 2 lymph nodes that they removed both had cancer in them. So I'm sure you remember from my previous video, it's what we didn't want either. So to be honest, I was pretty devastated from that. I basically cried for 2 days. I do still find myself going down the dark path. Not very long, like it's literally like, half an hour maybe in the day. Most of the day I'm positive and keeping strong. But it was hard news to take in. So after that, I spoke with so we didn't actually have the full picture at that point. I spoke to my surgical oncologist, Dr. Warburton. She is really good at what she does. She called us on Monday and basically gave us the same news and said, here's the scoop. So we know all this. What's going to happen next is we know that I'm going to have more surgery. We know that they won't take any more lymph nodes. And we know that I will have radiation and anti-estrogen pills and possibly chemo. So this is what she told me. So I was like, okay, that's not bad. That's not bad news, right? So then she also told us, I asked her what stage this was, and she said she doesn't really do staging anymore. They grade it, so it's a grade 1. So just to recap, it's a grade 1. It's an ER, PR positive, HER2 negative breast cancer. So that means it feeds off of estrogen. What else can I tell you? And it's slow growing. Basically, she gave us a bunch of numbers and letters, and with Bill and I kind of Googling, we figured it was like a stage 2B. Do not quote me on that. This is us Googling. So Dr. Hull and Dr. Killian did this work, but that's what we came up with. That's not bad. Outcomes are good for this type of cancer and for this stage as well. So I felt really good. So then we get to yesterday where, I had a plethora of doctors and nurses who call me. And and they basically had me scheduled for May 11th to go in and meet with my medical oncologist at the BC Cancer Agency. However, they called back again and said, guess what? You're actually going to go tomorrow. So that was today. So I met with Dr. Den Brock. I hope I'm saying her name right. She's actually a breast cancer survivor herself. She was really great. So she went through everything with us. But I mean, it's good and it's bad, I guess, that we didn't really come up with a defined treatment plan. So I guess I'm lucky for that because I have a choice. So based on everything they know so far, she would be okay if I chose not to have chemo. It really only reduces the chance of recurrence by 2 to 3%. Having chemo, it also gives me an increase of heart failure over the next 6 years by 1%. They do a lot of percentages. It would be a rough chemo ride for sure, she told me, because of my age and my body can take it. So it's up to me to decide whether I want to go through with it or not. I know I definitely need more surgery, which will be a mastectomy. The mastectomy will be quite the surgery. So it'll be a week-long stay in the hospital. They basically will be removing my breast and making me a new breast with my tummy. So I get a tummy tuck and a new boob instead of implants. So that's going to happen. That would happen after chemo. So it would come chemo first, then the surgery, then radiation, then the anti-estrogen drugs. The other thing they told me, which made me a bit sad, was that they were going to give me a ovary suppressant drug, which I take once a month. It's a shot to basically stop my ovaries from working. So it basically puts you into menopause. I'm 42 and, my closest friends already know that, I wasn't sure, but when or how, but I kind of did want to have another one. So this definitely ends that story there. So, and no one ever wants to be told that they have to shut down their ovaries. I mean, it's what made my beautiful little boy. So, helped make my beautiful boy. So I have to get through that part. But there'll be plenty of counseling for that. So that was tough to hear today. But then, so if I'll still have that. I still have the ovary suppressant drug, even if I pick no cancer. And then, no cancer, no chemo. I think I already have chemo brain. They talked about that today. So, so if I don't have chemo, well, then we go straight to surgery. And after 4 to 6 weeks, then I go into radiation. Don't know how many rounds of radiation. And then I go on to the anti-estrogen pills. So, for those of you who are going through something very similar during this time, and maybe a doctor gave you the same choice, whether to go through with chemo or not, I'd love to hear from you. Or if you know someone who's had given that choice, what did you pick and why? I have a lot of reading to do. They gave me tons of material to read today. The other thing I want to mention is she suggested that we get this oncotyping done. So she suggested it, but guess what? It's a $5,000 price tag. Do we have $5,000 hanging about? Nope. So basically this oncotyping, and I will do more research on it as well, but basically it does two things. One, it takes my actual tumor and it sees how well chemo would, how well the tumor would respond to chemo. And the other thing it does is it looks for the chance of reoccurrence. So if so it gives you a score. So if I have a low score, basically it's telling us that it's a low chance of it reoccurring anywhere else in my body. And B, that the chemo just wouldn't respond well to this type of tumor. The tumor would not respond well to this type of chemo. So if I had a high score, then it means that it's a high likelihood that I would have recurrence somewhere else in the body, and that I would possibly benefit from having chemo. So I really want to get this test done. If I had an extra $5,000 lying around, I would definitely do it. But we don't. So now we just go on what we know, the facts we know so far, and making a decision. That's why I want to hear from you guys to see what you've heard about chemo, what you decided, what the person decided. If you had a choice, what would you choose? A couple people I've talked to, like my mom and my sister and my spouse, they're all like, hell no. If I had choice to get chemo, I would say no. If I didn't have to have chemo, I would say no. Part of me is like, well, if it makes me live longer, why not go for it? But there's also some downsides to chemo, and that's what I need to read up on. So don't quote me on everything I'm saying tonight, but I just wanted to share with you everything, my thoughts. This is supposed to be, this is what this is supposed to be for. I don't know if you can hear my 3-year-old. He's up. I'm not really sure what's happening over there. He's probably very overtired. It's 11 o'clock at night. But I wanted to keep you all informed of what's going on in my world. And I just want to say again, thank you so much for all your prayers and your thoughts and your positive vibes that you've been sending to me. I can feel it. I honestly can. And for everyone who's dropped off meals or sent me a text or given me a call, I really, really do appreciate it. And I know I haven't gotten to all of you, and I'm sorry. I have good moments and I have not so good moments. I have moments where I just need to be alone and just in my thoughts. I have moments where I just want to spend every second with my 3-year-old and my 2 older stepkids, Liam and Ava. I just want to take in the moments when they're young, because I'll only get this once. So I want to just soak it in. And, we've been doing more family nights and doing cards and things like that. And I'm really trying to be very present. So that's my thing to say to all of you. Don't let cancer be the time where you pay attention to all that stuff, because you know what? You just never know. You just never know what's going to happen down the road. So you know what? Especially because we're in COVID, and I know we all are, and I know that we're also getting stir crazy in our houses, but just really take the time, be inventive if you can, appreciate the small moments, and do your best to, get through it. Because I know even with the COVID, it's crazy. It's hard. You don't get to go and be close to your friends and family members. It's tough. So anyways, that's my little soapbox spiel. So I will keep you all posted. I'm sorry this is a little bit on the later side, but I think I just needed time and space to get everything processed in my own brain. But I am very thankful for all of you. So keep following me. I will do more posts. And I'll keep you as informed as much as I can. I'm going to do lots of reading this weekend. So if you guys know anything that you can share with me that would benefit me in my journey, I'd love to hear from you. And stay tuned for the next one, okay? Take care. Stay safe. Bye.